Welcome to Get a Life podcast with Kristen
and Steve.
Together, we are certified life and business coaches and consultants. Join us as we give you practical steps to realistic subjects based on our experiences that are attainable and you can apply to your life today to start seeing results.
We will talk about subjects such as time management, organizing your day, your purpose, getting beyond your past, and many other topics.
We want to help you take the next step. We will use our experiences and life journey to help you shorten yours. So grab a cup of coffee, put your earbuds in at your desk, or go for a run, and let's get a life together. Welcome to Get a Life podcast and YouTube channel. This is episode 3. We're going to be talking about time management today. Last week we talked about barriers, or last episode we talked about barriers to your purpose. So this is going to be, we're kind of breaking it down. So this can be one of the barriers to operating in your purpose.
Correct.
Yep.
And we're going to talk more about, not so much about tips for better time management today.
Right.
We're going to talk about that a little more next time. We're going to talk more today about hindrances.
Yeah. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you
okay.
said. But we're going to talk about the things that hinder good time management. So we're going to talk about those few things and hopefully maybe give you some things to look at, some things, again, to get your wheels turning and help you have some better time management skills. So choices. We want to talk about choices first. Time management, good or bad, is a result of choices that we make.
Yeah. Because everything we do, no matter what you think, we are choosing to do it. Every single thing you do all day long, you are choosing it. No matter if somebody is asking you to do it or if you're trying to do it for yourself, you're choosing to do it for the person or choosing to not do something.
Correct. Yeah, and it's everything is a choice, and I mentioned it in the last episode, but because it ties in again today, I want to say again that one thing my employer always says, if you say, I didn't have time to do this, his response is, you mean you didn't make the time.
Right. Because you're choosing.
You're choosing.
Yeah.
Now, one thing with this, poor time management or choices that hinder good time management aren't always lazy choices. Right. So don't take this as you're lazy, you have horrible time management, you're just sitting around with your feet up.
Right.
That's not the case. It can be choosing, if you're in a role of some sort where you have the ability to delegate tasks to other people, choosing to do them yourself is poor time management when you can delegate something to somebody.
That's true. I mean, you can say that in your role at your job, but I can say that as a mother too. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm feeling overwhelmed, like I've got all this stuff to do, there's other people in your house that can help you, including your husband.
Yes.
Yes. Even though he doesn't always love the delegation, even as a stay-at-home mom, correct, you can try to help yourself choose better time management so you can do things for yourself instead of always doing for others.
Right. It can be overextending yourself.
Yes.
Is a choice that can affect your time management.
Yes.
Doing too much can be as bad as not doing enough. Yeah. Constantly running your head off and having so many things going on, good or bad, that you really don't accomplish anything, can be as bad as sitting with your feet up watching TV and not, because at the end of the day, you feel like you're accomplishing a lot, but you're accomplishing parts of a lot of little things and nothing is really ever getting completed.
Correct.
So choices, even good choices, can hinder good time management.
Correct.
I've always said, I don't want to be so busy doing other things that are not my purpose, that when an opportunity comes up that is my purpose, I now can't step through that door of opportunity because I've got so many other things going on that are consuming my time. Okay, so next, let's touch real quick on some areas that negatively impact time management. One of them could be lack of motivation.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? I don't care how good you are at, time management, whatever. There's times that we are just not motivated.
Right. And what causes that? What are some things that cause lack of motivation?
Let's just talk, we're not going to, but let's just say the last 2 years, I think, has really put everybody kind of in neutral.
And this is
because we had to.
In case you're listening later on,
Yeah.
this is 2022.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years, 2020, 2021,
Yeah.
if you can remember back to that, if this is later on, that really
Put everybody in neutral.
wrecked people's mindsets.
Yeah.
Their outlooks. It caused a lot of depression. It caused
did.
because we were forced to stay home.
Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it put people, including myself, in this mode of just laziness, where really all you wanted to do was eat food and watch TV.
Yep. Yep. So we're now kind of coming out of that. So we all need to kind of help ourselves. Like, okay, we got to get going now. We can get going. We can start doing our thing again.
Another thing, depending on where you live, we live in northern Maine.
Yeah.
Okay. These seasons can affect your motivation.
It's an actual scientific
wintertime.
thing.
It's cold. It's dark. There's a lot of snow. You don't feel like going out and doing anything. You go into hibernation mode, just like a bear.
Like you just want to eat food and wrap up in a blanket.
Correct. Then springtime rolls around and you start getting a little motivation. Summertime is nice. You get motivated, but you've been stuck inside all the time. You really don't want to work on your purpose in the summer. You want to do something fun.
Yeah.
You want to get outside.
Yeah.
So you end up with a small window of time in the fall time where you're okay with working on your purpose. So these seasons, depending on where you live, can affect your motivation.
True.
Life circumstances.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Things happen.
We talked about it last time. Controllable and uncontrollable.
Yep.
Things happen that can affect your motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't like your job.
You're not motivated to
First of all, we go back to a few weeks ago. If you don't like your job, you're not in your purpose, number one. Right. But if you truly get up in the morning, you go to work, and you don't like your job, you are not going to be motivated. You may be able to motivate yourself.
To get to work
if you're
and do
a
your
person
job.
that has drive inside.
Right.
I've had jobs where I did not like them.
Yeah.
But I naturally am a person that has a level of drive in my job that I will still go to work and I will still do my job even if I don't like it. But I'll tell you what, it's a struggle.
Yeah. No, it was
when you
hard.
don't like your job.
Yeah.
When you like your job, you get up in the morning and you're motivated. You're ready to roll when you walk in that door.
I mean, there is an actual term of a functioning depressed person.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is possible.
That is possible.
Another thing that lacks motivation, I guess we kind of said it, but it ties in. You don't know your purpose.
Right.
You don't know your purpose.
Right.
You're going to lack motivation in anything if you don't know that.
Yeah.
Most people realize that time gets away from them when it comes to things that hinder your time management, coming back to that. But they lack the motivation to do anything about it.
They know it. They know they're on their phone for 8 hours a day, but you're like, whatever.
Or maybe you have so much going on that it seems like such a big elephant in the room that I don't even know where to start to begin to knock some things off my priorities and my obligations so that I can relieve more time, have better time management so I can work on the things that I should be working on. Yeah. That can happen. Mm-hmm. So another thing is that leads into lack of awareness. This is when you aren't even aware that you're wasting time.
Yeah.
And so you want to talk about making that schedule,
that
daily routine?
Just for an example, my daughter, she started a new job and she was talking about, she's like, Mom, now that I have my new job, I don't have time to do anything that I enjoy. So I said, why don't you make me up like a list, like what time you wake up, when you eat your breakfast, you get ready, you leave for work, what you do at work, after work, blah, blah, blah. Each hour, tell me what you're doing. So she sent it to me, and she actually added a little something on it too that I did not tell her to, which I thought was great. She put a little list at the bottom of the things that she would like to do if she had the time. So we went through her little timeline, and we found 3 hours every day that she could actually work on some of the things that she wanted to do. She got all her housework done. She worked out. She did all of that, got to work, but then she still had 3 hours left. So she's like, wow, okay. So then I helped her work through, she goes, well, I like to spend that time with my husband. We like to watch movies. I said, that's fine. You absolutely need to do that, but you also need to do something for yourself as well, which I said, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you work on that little list. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Friday, or whatever Saturday, you do the things with your husband that you guys wanted to do.
Make a schedule. I challenge you to do this.
Yeah, make a schedule.
Daily routine. Do it this week.
Every hour. What are you doing? And be honest.
Be honest with what you're doing. I just spent an hour talking to somebody about something that's not even job related.
Or I took a 2-hour lunch that I shouldn't have, but now I'm behind at work. Now I got to stay home later, and I can't get home to dinner. Like, that's a whole snowball effect right there.
Make a list, write it down, and begin to look at it. And I think even if you think you're a great time management person, you're going to find some eye openers.
Yeah.
And some things that maybe I can adjust this a little bit and create some more time to do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Do we have any of our own examples, like time management, time wasters?
Our phone is a time waster. I feel like you think you're not on there a long time, but I love watching TikToks, and I can find out that I've been sitting there watching TikToks for an hour.
Right.
Now, I think I probably could be a little more productive, even though I do all the things I'm supposed to do. Right. But I could be reading. I could be doing so much more. And I understand we need some downtime.
We need time. You do need time.
You do.
You do need time to kind of stop and reset your brain. You need time to just...
Right, but I'm thinking, what would I have... If we didn't have phones, what would I have done to... I'd probably go outside, or I'd read a book, or,
Right. I have time wasters. There's certain guys I like watching on YouTube because I'm a construction guy.
But, and it's okay. But when you're watching 7 episodes of a show, which we did during the last 2 at the beginning of the 2 years that we were having, we watched a whole season in 2 days.
Right. And that we just blew the
whole day just sitting at the TV.
That's the key. And it's important you have some wind down time at the end of your day.
I agree.
But at the same time, and sometimes this is a struggle, you have to push yourself sometimes. I work a job, I work construction management. It's very much draining to my brain.
Yes, so you need a downtime.
I'm pulled on in a lot of different areas throughout the day. I stare at 2 computer monitors all day long. And when I get home, I'm wiped. I'm wiped. So to sit and think about, I got to type up some show notes for a podcast, or I got to do some life coaching stuff, can be a challenge. That's where it's okay. Take an hour and reset your brain. Focus on nothing. Think about nothing. Whatever. Watch a video. Whatever. But then you got to push yourself to take that step. I need to do this. I need to read a chapter out of this book that's going to help me in my purpose, or do a podcast. So
there's 2 things. Remember the Miles Monroe comment? He said, you work for your boss. Do you remember that one?
You work 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are.
Your time is for him, your boss.
You have to work after 5 is what he used to say.
You work towards your purpose after 5.
Because that's your time. You've got to work towards your purpose, your destiny, your business, whatever it is, after 5. So you've got to, this is where time management comes in. This is where this little routine of writing down your schedule, where am I using my time,
really aware of it.
And begin to adjust that a little bit to allow you time to do the things that you want to do, but that you need to do. Right. And want to do also refers to, leisure things, entertainment, activities. That is part of that.
Yeah. And another a guy had told you, always be reading a book about...
Yes, that's one thing that our strategic advisors tell us is you should always have a book or something that you're reading that relates to building up your purpose, developing your skills and your character, something related to... So I read a lot of leadership type books. Right. If you were a baker like my wife, you might read... books on...
I didn't read any books, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos.
On making, enhancing your recipes to make better cakes or whatever. Yep. Find something that is geared towards your purpose, and it might just be a chapter a night.
Yep.
Find something and educate yourself in that. So last thing before we wrap this up are some quick interfering beliefs.
Yeah.
These are beliefs that interfere with your day and affect time management.
Yep.
Perfectionism. How can that affect time management?
Ooh, that's rough. That's a hard one. And that was one of my blind spots. We talked about blind spots a couple episodes ago, or mentioned it. I did not, people have said it 100 times that I'm a perfectionist. I said, no, I'm not a perfectionist. I don't believe I'm a perfectionist. I just want it done right. So so when I was doing baking, there's cakes and cupcakes that could have been done probably within an hour, hour and a half. I would spend the entire day trying to perfect this cake, and even still would not be happy with it going out the door, and people are like, that's ridiculous, this cake looks great. I would even lay in bed at night thinking, how could I have done it better, and beat myself up that I didn't do it as well as my brain told me I wanted to do it.
I told her the only complaint and the only bad review her business has ever had is from herself. Yeah. And that's the truth.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I think I've talked about it before, and I don't know if I'm going off track here, but my perfectionism really did get so badly that as I'm decorating the cake, I could hear statements in my head of them saying, oh, I don't think this looks nice. Oh, this didn't taste good. Like the entire time decorating cakes.
Making that up in her own head.
Making this all up in my mind, thinking this is what people are going to say.
That is an interfering belief, meaning that interferes with good time management.
Yes, it does.
Because you end up taking too much time.
Oh, my gosh.
In the job I work in, construction management, we do a lot of estimating. And there's a fine line. I tell guys there's a fine line between the perfect estimate and production. You can't, we have to get jobs out at the same time. So you have to have a level of acceptance where I did as good as I think I know I did, get the job out.
And you say, get it done, move it on,
Get it
guys.
down, move on.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, we'll learn from the mistake, we'll adjust next time. Yeah. The next thing is procrastination.
Yep,
this is an interfering belief. And you wouldn't think procrastination is a belief.
It is.
But it is. People that really struggle with procrastination can come up with the most amazing excuses as to why they aren't doing something.
It's true.
So procrastination can be one. And the last interfering belief is people pleasing.
Oh, that.
How can that? Now, I typically don't struggle in this area when it comes to as far as employment. I have a job to do. You have a job to do. Whether you like me or not, this is how we do it. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. You, on the other hand.
If you know me, most people would be like, no, she's tough. She's this, she's that. The core of me is not. My core is a people pleaser. I have a very hard time saying no to people. I am constantly doing things to make people happy. Number one, my love language is acts of service. So that is part of who I am. And if you don't know what 5 love languages is, we could that'd be a good one to talk about at some point. But mine is acts of service. So people typically operate outside of their love language. Even though Steve's is quality time, I want to do acts of service when he really doesn't care. And all he wants me to do is sit down and have time with him. I want to go do a bunch of stuff for him. So, finding out who you are and what your person really will help you towards your purpose. Right. But people pleasing is a barrier. It's a horrible belief.
not to pick on you.
No, but that's fine.
But in your baking business.
Yeah, it was awful.
I would find her working till 10 o'clock at night after night after night, simply because she wouldn't tell somebody no. She wouldn't say, no, my schedule. She would post it, my schedule's full. Somebody would write to her and say, well, do you think you could? Okay, I'll do it. Yeah. And it got to the point where she got burnt out.
I got burnt, and I had to close it.
She shut her business down because
so
it was
bad
too
because
much.
I did not know how to say no.
And part
basically
of it was,
that's what happened.
Right. It was that, and it needed to, because it led to us doing this, which really is our purpose.
And the whole expense thing, there was a lot.
There was a lot going on, but a lot of it contributed to people pleasing.
Yes, it did.
So those are three things that can interfere with time management.
Yes.
So again, as we wrap this up, we challenge you, make that schedule.
Yes.
See where you're wasting time.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that you constantly have to work. Don't hear us wrong.
Right.
We aren't saying good time management means you're constantly working, doing. You have to build in relaxation. You got to build in a vacation. You got to build in a day off where you don't do anything.
Right. But if you
That's
want
important.
to work towards your purpose, you got to kind of see where you can start working towards it, because you're just not gonna if you don't take the time. Right.
So find out, are there things that are hindering my time management because I'm doing too much, I need to get rid of stuff? Or is it simply I lack motivation? Yeah. I'm not passionate. I'm a procrastinator. Maybe I'm a perfectionist. Yeah. Maybe I'm a people pleaser. Maybe there's some things there that you can work on and you can adjust to help you have better time management.
It starts with awareness.
It starts with awareness.
Yep.
So that's it for today's podcast. We thank you for listening. Again, as we've mentioned in the other ones, we're going to do a question and answer podcast. So if you have questions pertaining to today's subject, you can reach us one of 3 ways. You can email us at skyoungconsulting@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Or if you're watching this on YouTube, write a comment right on the video asking your question. We'll write it down, and in a few weeks, we will have a podcast show answering all of your questions to the best of our ability.
Yep.
You can also reach out to us those 3 ways if you want to know more about what we have to offer as far as life and business coaching goes, and we'll get in contact with you. So that's it. On our next episode, we are going to talk about organizing your day, which is obviously going to tag right along with time management.
Right.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Our goal is that you have some practical steps that you can implement today at Getting a Life. Don't forget to come back next week as we continue to talk about the subjects that will help you reach your life goals. If you want more information about what we do, you can reach us at skyoungconsulting@gmail.com. That's S as in Steve, K as in Kristen, Young, Y-O-U-N-G, consulting@gmail.com, or our Facebook page, SK Young Consulting. And please share our podcast with your friends. See you next time, and remember, you control your day. Don't let your day control you.